Hi, my name is Gregory Chapman, and I've been here in St. Charles since the 90s teaching art. I came out of the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and since then I've been doing grad work in, NIU, Aurora University, Eastern, and then one of the things I like to do is I like to go to actual art workshops where they're professional artists that are in their trade and learn, a couple days at a time from what they do. So those are the different things that I do to keep myself current. Normally, when I would have you parents here for back to school night, we'd spend the time doing art because it's back to school night and want to give you some time just to get back into that creative stage for yourself, because in some cases we never get the time for that. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you artwork by one of our students, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what goes on in the 2D program. So with that being said, I'm going to flip the camera around, and let's see here. So here a student basically is starting off with a little bit of art talent before coming to the class, but also willing to learn new techniques. And here is an example of trying something outside of the comfort zone. Here the student was talking about doing a self-portrait as an opportunity to grow and also a good way to symbolize their lives. Also, they wanted to play around with charcoal and blending, which they feel like they need work with. So this student was saying that they're mostly smiley and stuff, but also wanted to draw themselves in a serious light because the student takes art seriously. We also go through various exercises. Here's an exercise just in line and being able to observe things close up and then use line to be able to portray that as best you can. And then also continuing with that idea, we did some studies of our rooms and our spaces at home. And so here is a at-home learning space. This drawing was done when we were doing remote, and so this was one of the spaces that the student was able to work. Got themselves an album player and portfolios and all kinds of things that would suggest the student likes art. This one is a piece that the student was working on in canvas. It ended up having many faces and ended up being in a show and actually was purchased by a patron of the arts. So that was a nice something for the student to realize that art can be profitable other than just self-expression. Again, this unit here, we talked about dreams and tapping into the subconscious. This one had to do with a glass of orange juice. And once we talk about these things in dreams and how strange they are, but at the same time they seem to make sense, it's a great way to bond with students, because a lot of dreams are common and we can share common dream experiences. Also, we talked about hopes and dreams for the future, and the student was talking about moving or living somewhere where there's a beautiful garden. That was a goal for their future, hopes and dreams for the future. Then we did tests of how to use colored pencils and different techniques. And we did replications of former artworks or historical artworks. This one is a Van Gogh. You might recognize it. Been known as Starry Night, which is one of the most famous artworks ever done. So this student did a very good job of trying to reproduce it with colored pencils. And other techniques, we studied pointillism and stippling, which is basically using dots to be able to create your artwork. And we went on to looking at still lifes and trying different materials. We also studied faces and figures. And then we also talked about space and being able to draw objects three-dimensionally while adding creativity to it. And then we also combined various techniques. This was a wedding picture of her mother when she got married. And then we had a piece over, basically expressive piece that tried to personify or illustrate spring break. And so this was an abstract representation of the student's spring break. So now that you've seen some of the students' work, I'll tell you a little bit about how the class goes in terms of home access and Google Classroom. So right now all the students are signed in for Google Classroom, and then in Google Classroom all the assignments are laid out and they can check it. It is marked down daily of what we do and sometimes in advance to give them an idea of where we're going next. Portfolios are basically what I just showed, where students take pictures of their work and present it in a very clear, pleasing, graphically pleasing manner. And then that becomes the portfolio for which they're graded. So when it's turned in, then the points go in the grade book. When it's turned in, the points go in the grade book, and so on and so on. You can contact me through email, telephone, and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as possible. I really like working with parents to be able to make sure that the child reaches the best potential they can be. You know, hard work, effort, being able to take criticism and then improving on that. Those are important things to be able to succeed in life no matter what you do. So those are the things that we'll be looking for, and love working with you and helping your child succeed. Have a good day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your back to school night videos.